What's on, where, and when. It's the Talk of Nelson. NBS Talk Nelson.
Banking for life means trust, stability, and confidence.
You're there for the lifetime, and NBS providing that right through.
Welcome back to the Couch Crew Sports Show podcast, brought to you by the Turf Hotel. Thanks to Stan and the team, and also proudly supported by MBS. Great to have them with us. I'm Chris Butler. Normally Ryan Skippy Stewart does join me, but he's running around with kids at the moment at Saxon Field. They've obviously got a junior tournament on there, and he said, mate, it's madness here. Can I give it a miss this week? Coming up on the show, we're going to be talking rugby, football, basketball. The netball season gets underway this weekend, or actually tonight, actually, for seniors. Hockey also, and also any world headlines. But actually, again, I thought we'll touch on, do you follow the USA NBL playoffs a little bit? Yeah, that's good. I'm glad you're up with the speed, so you can give us a heads up on that. Our special guest this week is former Nelson Giants player. He's also former Tall Black, current head coach and general manager of the Nelson Giants, Mike Fitchett. Nice to have you here, mate.
Awesome. Great to be here.
Now, another Nelsonian, born and bred. We had Sam last week, so, certainly breed plenty of talent in this region. You went through Nelson College, is that right?
Yeah, I was actually bit connected to Sam Dempster. So I grew up down on Nayland Road.
Right.
Sammy grew up on Songer Street. His mother, Julie, his late mother, she was coached by my father at Nayland College.
Oh, right.
And babysat me when I was a baby, evidently. So obviously,
Oh, wow.
I don't remember that, but yeah, small town, and
Yeah.
very, very, very proud Nelsonian.
Great stuff. Now, of course, many will know Steve Fitchett. So I remember him. He was a teacher there when I was there at Nelson College. I can't remember. I was mainly football. I did a little bit of basketball. I can't remember what Steve was in charge of then. But obviously, as time went on throughout the years, happened to notice him more involved in the Giants. So, did you really have a chance? Was it always basketball for you, or?
Yeah. I mean, it was like Dad played a bit as a high schooler, and then when he got into his teaching career, he coached girls at Nayland College. Then we moved up to Auckland, and he did a bit of coaching there. He coached a team in Pahiatua, Tararoa College.
Oh, wow.
Actually coached them to fourth in New Zealand, which was a pretty big result for that small school. And then we moved back to Nelson in the around 1990. And he took over the basketball program at Nelson College, and kind of Dad and Bill Dalberg got that program, continued that program running really well. Always a traditionally pretty strong basketball school, but lots of really talented players. Phil Jones and Robbie Dalberg and the Thompson brothers, and lots of different people. When those guys started making Giants rosters while they were in high school, and I guess that's where Dad got a bit more connected to Nenad Vucinic and sort of became a little bit more involved with the Giants as well. And 25, 30 years later, he's still, he's down there at practice the last 2 days running the score bench for us, and is our game commissioner at home games. So
Oh, is that right? So I was going to ask about that because, he was so heavily involved, and, I see you've taken on a bit more of a management role as well. So does he still pitch in with you, or?
He's definitely pretty open with his ideas and opinions. No, he does help out a lot. Like, he volunteers for us. Like, we've got a lot of people, we're really lucky with a big volunteer base. But Dad and Julie Bensaman, who's running, working at TRU now, they really kept the club afloat through the late 2010s and into the 2020s. So I'm just, trying to keep our nose above water again, and make sure the club continues for another sort of 40 odd years.
Now, with your playing career, you did, play through the ranks, and eventually, was it 1999 NBL?
Yeah, I was in the old money sixth form then, and trialed out for the Giants and was lucky enough to be selected. I was a training player. I think I played I played second division for the Nelson Suns. And then I think I, subbed in late in three games during the season. So that was a great experience. In 2000, when I was sim form, sort of established myself a little bit more and was one of the first few guys off the bench, and was kind of away from there.
So, as a young fella going to that environment, obviously you were around it when you were younger, but, a bit different playing local or regional basketball and suddenly hitting the NBL. What was that like when you first went onto the court?
Well, I had been around it so much that I don't think I was ever, from a playing perspective, it was a shock to the system. We had two imports those days. We had Nenad Vucinic, Phil Jones, Judd Flavel, Ralph Lattimore was on the team, all seasoned Tall Blacks and really, really good players. So I was a little bit out of my depth playing wise. Always been a pretty confident person and player. So I wasn't scared going into that environment. And they looked after us young fellas. Mika Vakona was the same year as me, and both of us went into that group, and I think we showed that we could contribute a little bit on the floor. And then, we were very much accepted by those veterans.
We talked last time about that with Skippy and Sam, and they were trying to say to the younger guys, you've got to try and enjoy the experience because you put a lot of pressure on yourself. What were you like as a player? Were you intense, or could you relax and enjoy the moment?
No, I was pretty intense. I didn't. Yeah, I mean, still, losses upset me. I think that's the thing, right? It's like you stay in these sports, or you get into these sports, and you can succeed if you've got that competitive element. You don't see many players play for New Zealand that kind of just float around and, oh well, I lost, it doesn't matter, So no, took things pretty hard and competed pretty hard. I wasn't athletically, I was okay at a high school level. I was a pretty good athlete at high school, but once you step into the NBL, I was very much an average athlete. So I had to get by with a little bit of smarts, and shooting was a skill I had, thankfully. So, I really rode those things and tried to get as much as I could out of my body. But yeah, I was pretty average. I'm a pretty average human being as far as physicality goes.
Okay, well, look, you obviously did well, because you did end up going on to have a stint with the New Zealand Breakers and also the Tall Blacks. So can you tell us what that experience was like? Because that's, well, you could call it international, couldn't you? I mean, it was another level, playing against Australian franchises, and then at the New Zealand level, it's playing against international sides.
Yeah, I had 1 year with the Breakers as a development player when I was a bit younger. And, I went through the season and I thought I was going okay, but the coach pulled me in at the end of the season and said, oh, look, I don't think you're for this level. And it's pretty disappointing. But with the benefit of hindsight, he was probably right.
Yeah.
But, those teams, they always bring in an import point guard, American guys, very high level. So, it's tough to crack that league. But the New Zealand stuff, yeah, I was fortunate enough to have 5 years with the Tall Blacks, played over 50 games, and went to the World Cup in 2010, which is probably the highlight of my playing career.
Yeah.
We did really well. We finished 12th at the tournament, and, we got to play the superpowers, Spain, Lithuania, Russia, Turkey, and incredible experience. Really, really lucky to have done that. So,
is there any particular player that you remember that you came up across and you thought, geez, I'm playing against this guy?
Well, actually, funnily enough, there was a guy named Ricky Rubio who played in the NBA for 10 or 12 years, and we played Spain in pool play at the 2010 World Cup, and he was about 18 years old.
Oh.
But he'd been a pro in the Spanish league since he was 15. And he was unbelievable. His YouTube was kind of in the early stages, and he was a YouTube sensation. And I remember watching all his clips and going, "Oh my goodness, this kid's 17." And then we played against him. It was pretty cool opportunity. And then he went on to have a really good NBA career as well. But that's probably just one of those guys. Yeah,
fantastic. So then, at some point, you made the decision to go into coaching. So, had that always been on your radar, or was it just when you thought, well, the body's not quite doing what it used to do, so I need to have a think about after playing?
Probably both of those things.
Right.
The body did start breaking down a little bit. I was also very content with my career. I got to 30 years old and, you know, I'd been on the Tall Blacks for 5 years and we'd won a championship here with the Giants and I was happy with what I'd done. It was probably time to grow up and get a real job. I didn't get a real job, but stayed in the sport. But, you know, both my parents were teachers. I'd been around really good coaches throughout my playing career and I'd done a lot of coaching as a player, done some junior coaching and had been encouraged in that area. So that was definitely something that I wanted to do. My wife's from Auckland and we'd moved up there following my playing career and I'd picked up a job with the Breakers in the office. So I got involved with the Breakers Academy program. I coached a high school and wangled my way into being head coach of a couple of the New Zealand junior age group teams, which was pretty fortunate for me as a young coach. And kind of eventually made my way onto the Breakers coaching staff as an assistant. So I had a very fortunate pathway, but it was kind of something that I always wanted to get into.
So you certainly had a good apprenticeship. So when did the opportunity come on to actually come and coach your home side?
Yeah, 2019. I'd been coaching with the Breakers for 3 or 4 years and the role came up here. So we came back just for the NBL season. We were based in Auckland, but we brought the family back for the NBL season. Absolutely loved it. Loved being back in town and we had a reasonably competitive team that year. So I had a bit of a falling out with the next Breakers coach and ended up resigning from the Breakers at the end of 2019 and we moved back permanently in 2020. So been chipping away ever since then.
Yeah, fantastic. And am I right in saying that you also have also been involved with the Tallback? I mean, obviously you were a player as well, but opportunities also came up, you know, coaching at that international level.
Yeah, I guess fortunate again. Nenad Vucinic, who, you know, local listeners will know very well, he was my coach with the Tall Blacks. When I finished playing, he kept me involved, coming to some camps and helping out on the sort of coaching and staff side. And then Paul Henare took over from Nenad, and he was with the Breakers, so we were coaching together there. And he brought me in. So I've been an assistant coach since 2017. And now, you know, worked for Paulie, worked under Pero Cameron, and now I work under Judd Flavel. So really amazing experiences. You know, we're in February, we were up in the Philippines playing in front of 17,000 people and getting a win up there and being able to continue to travel the world in international basketball. So, yeah, really fortunate to do that. And in the current roles, the associate head assistant coach, or actually I'd need to look up what the title is, but regardless of what it is, I love being involved with the program. The All Blacks is a special thing, and to be still involved at that highest level of the game is really special.
Before we talk about this team, are you excited about the prospects coming through with the Tall Blacks?
We got an incredible amount of kids, like, and even, you know, talk about the local kids like Hayden Jones, and last year we had Lockie Crate on the team down from Fielding, and we've got Zach Rampton and James Matthews. There's a bit of a conveyor belt of talent coming through, not just the country, but locally. So these kids are unreal. And the opportunities they get, you know, when I was coming through, if you made a New Zealand team, you'd go to Australia and play the state teams. These guys are off to world championships and you know, top 4 finishes has become quite regular for our guys. So the opportunities these guys are getting to travel, to play, to put themselves in front of coaches and therefore, you know, make a very, very nice living out of the game is it's unreal.
So I suppose it's trying to keep them, isn't it? Because if they've got a bit of talent, they might be the big checks coming out. And then like Stephen Adams, I mean, wouldn't have been amazing for him to put that jersey on. Who knows one day if he can keep his knees in order or his injuries. But to have the opportunity to keep them in that side, that would be the challenge.
It is, and the money that these guys can make playing professionally now is substantial, and playing for the Tall Blacks is still basically doing it for the love of the jersey, and it's becoming harder and harder the professional seasons are going for longer and longer, and to get guys for a week, or if we've got a World Cup campaign or an Asian Cup campaign, that might be 4 or 5 weeks at a time. So it's becoming difficult to get those guys to commit, but we're lucky we've got we do have a bunch of guys that really value playing for their country and still like to do it. So, yeah, I'd love to see Steve in the jersey one day. But if we don't get him in the jersey, then what he's doing for New Zealand basketball's incredible too. So
yeah, that's right. I was going to ask about your favourite year with the Giants. Well, in 2022, you were picked as NBL Coach of the Year. So does that line up with your favourite year, or have you got another season that you have a fond memory of?
it's like picking your kids, isn't it? No, 2022 was an amazing year. We had great group of imports came in, Jared West, Sam Thompson and Trey Morning. They fit in really well with Alex McNaughton, Sam Dempster in the starting five, and then we had a good bench crew of local guys, and the stars aligned a little bit for us that year. We just kind of got rolling, and we won all our close games, and things went really well, and we ended up top equal after the regular season, dipping out in the semi-final to the Nuggets, which still hurts. But
yeah, I remember that.
I enjoy all these years. They're all different, but from a success point of view, that's the one that we're trying to get over the top of and beat.
So would it be fair to say that last season, and certainly looking into this season, although we'll talk about the recent game, is a bit of a rebuild for you guys? I mean, I remember, I don't go to the basketball all the time, but I did go last year, and I thought, geez, they're young. And I guess I was trying to compare it with since I'd last seen it, but it could be just me getting older, of course. But with what you're going through now, would you see that as the start of a new cycle for you guys?
Not so much. I think the structure of the league has changed, and I won't bore you with salary cap rules and roster rules and things like that, but basically the way the competition's set up now is you've got your 5 or 6 sort of professional players, and then you fill the rest of your roster with 17, 18, 19, 20-year-old guys that are still perhaps they're looking for opportunities in the USA or at colleges or elsewhere, but that kind of 22 to 26-year-old guys that are good club players, that are solid New Zealand NBL players, the way the league's set up is a little bit hard for those guys to be in. So we're either, we've got our Tohi Smith-Milners and our Sam Dempsters, the 30, 35-year-olds or settled pros, and then we're into amateur players that are trying to make their way up. So we are very, very young. We're lucky here because we do have the talent coming through that those guys can play for us. Last year, we relied even more heavily on the Hayden Joneses and the Lockie Crates to play NBL minutes for us. And we're going to see big things out of those guys. They'll probably be too good to ever come back to play for the Giants or in the New Zealand NBL. So, it's an interesting one. We're always going to be young, and I benefited from that when I was a junior. And it's something I want to keep going because it's the best way for these young talented fellas to
so part of it is obviously winning games, but also in the back of your mind, it's that thing about developing the players through to higher honours, right?
Yeah, like I say this every year. We've got 11 teams in the league. One of the clubs is going to raise the trophy at the end.
Yeah.
So we can't judge ourselves only on that. Are we developing our players? Are we sending them off to bigger and better things? Are they becoming great human beings? Are they enjoying the process of getting better and training every day? And we're a sports club, but we're also providing an entertainment event. 10 nights throughout winter. Locals want to see our local guys come through. So I'm not. I'll pick and choose a couple of guys from out of town to bring in every year. But if we've got a local guy that can fill that role, I think it's that's going to sell us a few more tickets at the Trafalgar Centre.
Yeah, right.
And more people in the stadium's a better event.
And we know if you've got teams wanting to play for the jersey, you can box above your weight, can't you? I mean, we saw that in the early days of the Marco. They really rose to those occasions. So the reason I guess I had that perception was obviously in a different season last season. It was some wins and losses. The start of this season, a couple of defeats. But then we talked up the Saints. Sam was talking about the rivalry with the Saints, and anytime they, you get a chance to play them. In fact, that was his favourite game when he beat the Saints in Wellington. And boom, the result at the Trafalgar Centre, obviously, very exciting game. You managed to get over top of the Saints.
It was one of like oh man, I think I played 100 or two. Did I play over 200 games? I don't know. Played a lot of games at the Trafalgar Centre, or coached a lot of games at the Trafalgar Centre, excuse me, and that's got to be up there with the best. It was big crowd, great atmosphere. The event went really well. We got down 11 with 5 minutes to go. And the thing I love about our team, and we've been like this for a few years now, is we can get down, but we don't give up. We've got a lot of heart. And I said to the guys after the game, like, sometimes that means we have some moral victories.
Yeah, right.
We get down and we fight back and we lose close. And that's no fun. And this time we were down 11 with 5 minutes to go. And we managed to climb over the top of them in the last minute, and they missed that shot to win it. And to be rewarded with more than a moral victory, with an actual victory, was fantastic. And the boys, there wasn't anything strategic or tactical that I did. It was purely the boys, the guys on the floor putting in the effort, making the plays, making the big plays when it counted, knuckling down on defense. I was really proud of them, and it was loud in there. It was a lot of fun. You walk around and talk to people after the game, and people were just fizzing.
So it gives them confidence too, doesn't it? Especially if you think, oh, you're going into a game and highly unlikely we're going to win this one, but you get that taste and you get that confidence, and so that bodes well for the future. They've got to back it up, of course, because Saturday, 2nd of May, is that right? 4:30, so an earlier
nice
tip-off.
afternoon game this Saturday against Taranaki, who are 3 wins and 1 loss this year. So
right. So they started strong. Yeah, right. So what expectations? Oh, and also a new player from Finland.
Yeah, so Amy Luukkonen came in for us. He had his first game against the Saints, and it's even before he landed in New Zealand, I was talking to him on the phone. He said, "What do you expect out of me?" I said, "The first 4 games, you're going to foul out. Our imports always foul out. They take a while to get used to the referees.
Right,
and the referees get used to them. And sure enough, he fouled out in 19 minutes or something like that. But he showed us enough for me to know I think he's going to be a really good piece for us. And he'll keep getting better and better as he gets more comfortable. But Taranaki's had a good start to the season. We need to, build from our Saints performance. I think we can be one of the better teams in the league this year. We've got experience in that starting 5 and Sammy D off the bench. And if we want to be in the playoff mix, these are the kind of home games that we need to put away.
Yeah, great. 4:30, get there early on a Saturday.
Get a big crowd
it's starting to get colder at night, so you may as well go indoors.
Exactly.
But it's always just such a fantastic atmosphere, and the kids absolutely love it. So good luck for the rest of the season, mate. It's great chatting about your background. And, aspirations for you, I mean, you want to carry on with the Tall Blacks and...
Yeah, don't shy away from it. My goal as a coach is to coach the Tall Blacks at the Olympics. And, I'm putting my hand up for that Tall Blacks job whenever it comes up. And I missed out on it last time. Judd Flavel's a hell of a coach, and I'm certainly not too proud to go and work for the guy, even though I want he's in the seat I wanted to be in.
Yeah.
But, as long as I can be involved with that program, I'll be there whenever they ask me to. So if I could head coach that team one day, that'd be the dream. But right now, very happy working with the Giants, working as an assistant coach and helping develop the kids come through.
Yeah, good stuff. Thank you, mate. We will get someone back in before the end of the season to see how it's travelling. But this is a big test because we asked the guests to stick around. Normally Skippy's here to help us out, but it's just you and me.
We're in trouble.
And also we've brought in hockey and netball because that gets underway. We're catching up with hockey next week and then hopefully netball the week after. But it's actually tonight, Thursday. No, sorry, that's netball. So we'll go on to hockey. That's actually on Saturday it starts. And in the Premier Division women's, we've got Federal taking on Waimai. Any inside knowledge there? Who would you pick there?
Absolutely none, but I think Federal will be pretty good on turf too. When's that? Tonight? Saturday.
1:45 Turf 2.
I'd imagine Federal and Stoke.
Stoke. So
I'm picking there.
Stoke is taking on Tasman Black at 3:30 Turf 2. So good luck with the start of that. In the men, we've got Tasman Black taking on Federal, 1:30 on Turf 1.
Are they water-based or sand-based these
Well,
days?
I'm pretty sure 1 is water-based and I think 2 is sand-based, but I'll get corrected next week.
That probably tells me that I think Tasman and Stoke will get up just on the water-based turf. I think they're going to be more at home there.
You must know something I don't.
Absolutely not.
Because their treads on their boots.
I've picked them because you've written them first.
So Tasman Black taking on Federal 1:30, Stoke versus Waimai at 3:15. In the netball and in the Premier Division, they actually started last week on Thursday night games, and Waimea prices went down to Richmond 43-28. Stoke got over, the Jacks got over 68 over Stoke 40. And Waimea prices 62-56 over Nelson College for girls. So tonight, Thursday night, Waimea prices versus Stoke.
Yeah, that looks like it's going to be quite a close matchup. I'm going to go with Stoke in this one.
Stoke. Nelson College for girls taking on Waimea prices. 6:15.
Yeah, it looks like the girls had a pretty close game against Waimea prices.
Yeah.
Have Waimea prices got 2 squads out there?
Well, I don't know. Either that
like
or
they
they're
might.
doubling up.
Yeah, they might be playing 2. That's tough.
Either that or I've got the draw completely wrong.
Look, let's go with Nelson College for girls in that one. I think the girls did cause a bit of an upset.
Great, good stuff. And Jacks versus Richmond, 7:45, court 1.
Yeah.
What did the Jacks do there to win?
Hard to go past Jacks, isn't it?
Yeah, they're strong.
Are they going to let them dribble and run all the players run across the whole court in this game? Or is that put a backboard up behind the hoop? That might make it a bit more entertaining. Jacks for the win.
Might encourage a few players to come to cross the line, you think. Okay, well, we're going to catch up with netball in a couple of weeks, so be interesting to see how that goes. Rugby, well, Nelson College are taking on St Andrews. That's at Nelson College on the main field. Always a good atmosphere, 11 o'clock. So that's the Premier Division in college rugby. So good luck to Nelson College there. Waimea, I think, starts on the 13 in the championship. And also this weekend, here's your picks. The Women Tasman Trophy gets underway, and Mutari are from Blenheim, or Mutari, and they are taking on Marist, 1:15 at Awarua Park.
Must be over the hill.
It is.
Yeah.
So Marist have to travel.
My kids go to St Joe's, so I probably should pick Marist, but I think Mutari's going to be too strong.
Jeez, Les will be having a go at you. And Nelson are taking on Kahurangi. That's at Neil Park.
Oh, that's got to be Nelson, doesn't it?
Nelson, I think.
Yeah, Neil Park's looking good at the moment.
Is it?
I think they're going to be. It's a good track, and I think Nelson's going to get over top of them.
There you go. Good inside knowledge. In the men's, Central do it 24-14 over Waimea. Kahurangi 41-24 over Stoke. Sam will not be happy. And then Marist 30 over 17 Nelson. And actually looking back at that Waimea result, you wouldn't have picked that because Waimea have been absolutely smashing at the start of the season. Central have been indifferent, and yet I don't know what happened, whether they couldn't get the boys to go over the hill, a light team, but Central bounced back strong at home and get that result. So they'll be pretty rapt about that.
Am I led to believe that there's only one team from Marlborough in the
Yeah, there is. Yes, there is.
Disappointing.
Yeah, it is. It's the whole club scene. It's a bit of we're going to be catching up with Chris Little and Les will come back in to talk about what's happening with Marist. But it's always been a discussion at all regional club levels, just in those divisions where it's training 2 or 3 nights a week and that discipline. Although second division's quite strong and other grades, but women's rugby and also senior division 1 always a struggle. And if it's a struggle here, it's certainly a struggle in Blenheim. I think they just feel they've got a good competition in their local first division. That's strong, but to have enough player base and then have to travel over the hill all the time, it's a bit of a struggle. So it'd be great to see Mutari there. they did give it a crack, but it didn't quite come off.
Yeah, I think that's probably across all sports.
It is.
We've all got so many options these days to sign up and
Yeah.
commit to I know Nelson Senior Club Basketball's lost one or two teams in the men's top grade, and so I don't think it's just a rugby thing.
No, it's certainly not. So, but they're working on it. And we hope that improves over time. So for this weekend, we've got Waimea taking on Marist. That's a huge game, and I'd imagine my only guess is, and I don't want to disrespect Central, but my perception is that maybe getting enough players to get over the hill for that Thursday night game, or it might have been a Friday night game, might have been a stretch unless Central did really pick their game up. But Waimea have started really strong this season, and Marist undefeated too. So it's at the Wobbers ground.
That's
and it's for the Monopoly Cup, actually.
I think
Francie.
Oh, okay. Marist. Give me Marist in an upset.
Well, apparently somehow, he was also, they'd always go and have a drink at the Waimea Club Room after the game. So there's definitely a close association there. So they're quite keen on retaining that.
Good.
So, but you think Marist will do it?
Francis was a hell of a man.
Yeah,
big supporter of basketball too, and I know the family reasonably well. So, no, I think Marist will get up with the cup on the line. It'll be a shame there'll be no one there because they'll all be at Trafalgar Centre.
Right.
And I think Karangi's going to get over Nelson.
Oh, yes. Well, Nelson are playing at home. Karangi have to travel, but you think they're going to do it?
Get up for that one.
And then Stoke taking on Central, and it's home game for them.
Green Meadows. I think Stoke will be too strong. Central will win the aftermatch. Stoke will win the game.
Jeez, it's only because you have to face Sam.
Absolutely.
At training. Super Rugby, and geez, what a weekend it was in Christchurch. Absolutely jam-packed. The stadium looked fantastic. We had full stadiums in all games. I was quite surprised to see that because I thought maybe some of the other games would tail off, but it was absolutely jam-packed. And then we had the Warriors in Wellington, and that was a full house.
Yeah.
What a great weekend of sport. And Crusaders, bouncing back after a couple of poor performances, 35-20 against the Waratahs. Hurricanes, just showing what a great team this year, 45-12 over the Brumbies. The Blues only just doing against the Reds.
Game of the round, wasn't it?
It was, and Barrett just getting the penalty to win the game. Highlanders, Moana were ahead at one stage, and they had to come back to win that 27-17. And the Chiefs, after good performances from the Drua recently, 42-22 over the Drua. So the picks are, and what a massive, massive game this is, because now not sure about Will Jordan, but Ethan Blackadder's back, and also Whaianuku gets another crack at 7. Hurricanes versus the Crusaders in Wellington.
I mean, it's hard to go past the Hurricanes, isn't it?
Yeah.
Bit of an up and down season for the Crusaders. Hurricanes have looked good. I think possibly a bit of a letdown too after it would have been a big, not necessarily emotional, but big build up to the weekend for the Crusaders last week.
Yes.
Hosting everyone. And then they got to get on the road. So I think the Hurricanes will get over the top there.
Waratahs versus the Force, and that's in New South Wales.
Oh, couldn't care less, but I'll go with the Force. Chris Goodman's running a good show over there.
Oh, yeah, well, that's right.
There we go. So we'll go with the Force.
The Drua versus the Highlanders, that's in Fiji.
The Highlanders they'll be enjoying the Drua is going to get up there. I think the Highlanders will be.
They can't handle the heat.
I think there'll be some suntan issues. There'll be a few sunburns, and the Drua will get over.
Moana versus the Blues. What a big game this is.
I'd love to pick the Moana.
Yeah.
But, in a bit of strife at the moment.
The Blues are Sam's team. I don't know why he goes for the Blues, but anyway.
That's wild.
Yeah.
I'm going to go with the Moana. I think this will be an emotional, it's the crosstown rival.
Yes.
And they're not happy with them. From all reports in the media, Moana for an upset.
Good stuff. And then we got the Reds versus the Brumbies. That's in Queensland.
Reds.
Well, Brumbies are sort of flailing, but they're still now. Look, this is what amazes me: the Chiefs sitting on top at the moment, Hurricanes on equal points, the Blues on 33. Finally, the Blues are in the top 6, but the Crusaders, who have had a terrible season for them, are now sitting in 4th at 26. So after those losses and despair, they're still well and truly in the top 6. Brumbies 25 and the Reds 23. So I'm guessing the Crusaders could be in the final.
Would not surprise me. Would not surprise me. They know how to win, those boys.
Yeah. All right. Okay. So we must march on into football. Chatham Cup results. So Chatham Cup played every club throughout New Zealand that wants to enter. And locally, the first round, Tahuna taking on Richmond. They actually won that 3-0. Good result for them. Golden Bay going down to a very strong Blenheim Rangers side 5-0. And FC Nelson doing the job over, would be a strong Motueka side 2-0. So Tahuna, Rangers, and FC Nelson soldier on, move into the next round. Results from the Women's Premiership, Golden Bay 7-0 over Tahuna. What a great win over the hill by them. Mapua, another big win over the Diamonds, 9-0. Richmond 7-2 over Wakefield. Nelson Suburbs first 11, 3-0 over Nelson Suburbs second 11. I think they did mix and match there a bit. And the Richmond Foxes still showing their strength, 9-0 over Motueka. So here we go.
A lot of goals.
A lot of goals, yeah. No, there is. Wakefield versus Mapua in Wakefield.
You'd have to go with Mapua there based on last weekend's results.
Looking pretty strong. Nelson Suburbs, I think this might be it's their first division side versus FC Nelson Diamonds.
I think the Diamonds are going to struggle on that one. I'll take Suburbs.
Suburbs, Tahuna versus Richmond. That's the Foxes.
That's probably good. Got to go with the Foxes.
Got to go with the
Foxes, surely.
And they're playing pretty well. Oh, no, sorry. Is that? No, I think that's the Swans, sorry. The Richmond Swans.
The Swans are playing pretty well.
As well, okay.
By 5 last week.
All right.
I'll take Richmond regardless of whether it's the Foxes or the...
Okay. Foxes versus the second 11, Nelson Suburbs side.
Richmond will get the double there.
And Motueka versus Golden Bay.
Yeah, Golden Bay, what are they doing over there? 7-0.
The Shield. The Shield Maidens, they call themselves.
Okay, well, I've got to go with them.
Yeah, okay. Men's Premiership fixtures for this weekend. Tahuna at home taking on FC Nelson.
Tahuna.
Ooh.
Tahuna. Yeah, I've got Tahuna in that one.
An upset.
Yep.
All right. Richmond versus Suburbs. And this is pretty much the reserve side for the Southern League team.
Are we on Jubilee?
Yes.
Richmond.
Easily.
That'll be 3-0.
And Golden Bay get the home match against a very strong Rangers Blenheim side, but they have to go all the way from Blenheim over the Whangamoa and then over the Golden Bay Rangers.
And the Rangers are still going to win. The Rangers are still going to win.
Still going to win after all that.
Absolutely.
It's going to be a long trip home. The Southern League.
Enjoy it.
The Southern League results for the men. The week before, strong win against Selwyn 6-0. But unfortunately, Kashmir Technical, a very, very good side. Nelson Suburbs had to travel down on the Monday, so went down 6-0. Skippy would have been probably a bit disappointed with that. The right of reply is this weekend, 3rd of May, 2 o'clock, Saxon Field. They're taking on Nomads.
What do you know about the Nomads? Where are they from?
Nomads from Christchurch.
I guess.
Yeah, that's right. No, they're Christchurch side, but pretty much been consistent in the Southern League. And you'd have to say that Nomads on their day, they can put up a good performance. They're always around about mid-table, be a tough match. I mean...
Suburbs on the home field.
But I think my pick would be Suburbs on the home and hometown team.
Yep.
Women's Southern League, and it was... I didn't actually catch... I was going to ask Skippy, but unfortunately couldn't make it. But I didn't catch the result for the women's side taking on Kashmir. But that was at home. Very tough Kashmir side. Yeah. This week, the women are away to Coastal Spirit. It's on the 3rd of May, 12:30 at English Park in Christchurch.
Suburbs to win.
Well, of course, 100%. 100%. Okay, I don't know if you keep an eye on the Premier League, but we quickly go over the top 5. Arsenal... Man City, Man United, Liverpool, and Aston Villa. But the big talking point was that Arsenal was 16 points ahead on the league. Man City and they've got a game in hand. Last week they were on equal points, and will they choke it? At the final straight. So very tight race at the top there.
It'll be worth watching. Now I've just finished watching Ted Lasso for about the 5th time. So
right.
Yes. To believe Richmond United Richmond Athletics a made up club, but that's probably my team.
Right. And down the bottom five, Nottingham Forest on 39, West Ham 36, Tottenham, one of the biggest clubs in the country, on 34. They could go down. And then we've got Burnley on 20, Wolves on 17. They're definitely going down. So Tottenham, West Ham, and Nottingham Forest all fighting out for that last place.
Where's Chris Wood playing these
Nottingham
days?
Forest.
Oh, they'll stay up.
And they actually won 5-0. Who was that against? Sunderland, I'm pretty sure. And he managed to pinch one. So they need him in form to get a bit. And it's good to see him back, because that means that the World Cup's coming up and, we might have him up front. Okay, the world headlines, and there's only really one, especially when I've got basketball people here. It's the NBA playoffs. Your thoughts over the Eastern Conference. Celtics lead 3-2. The Knicks lead 3-2. The Magic lead 3-1. And the Raptors versus the Cavaliers are tied. Cavaliers making a bit of a comeback.
Cavaliers, well, yeah, the one the probably shocking one there is the Magic. They're leading the 8th seed going in against the 1 lead.
Wow.
And they're leading Detroit 3-1. They'll sneak through. But for me, personal connection with New Zealand basketball to the Celtics. One of our former Tall Blacks assistant coaches, Ross McMains, is on the bench with the Celtics.
Oh, wow.
Wonderful guy, half Kiwi, half American bloke. So I'm not really a Celtics fan, but I feel like got to root for the mate there. So I think the Celtics will come out of the East.
Oh, is that right? You think they'll win that conference?
They'll get over the top of the Knicks, I think.
In the Western Conference, the Spurs, 4-1 lead in that. The Timberwolves lead 3-2. The Lakers lead 3-1. And the OKC Thunder, they're sweeping it at the moment, aren't they? 4-0.
They're a powerhouse. The Spurs and the Thunder, I think, are going to they're the two class teams of the West. But Lakers leading 3-1 over Houston. Steve Adams' injury there halfway through the season really kind of submarine them. And the Timberwolves leading the Nuggets, best player in the world, the Serbian Nikola Jokic for the Nuggets. He's trying to pull them out of a hole at the moment. So I think it'll, they're going to beat each other up, but I think the Thunder's going to come out of the West.
Right. Okay, there we go. So what's that? The Thunder versus the Celtics?
Looks like it.
Wow.
Looks like it.
There we go. Hey, thanks very much, mate. Great to get that inside knowledge. Good luck this weekend. Hope you can soldier on and get another win with the boys, and great to meet you and hear about your background, and certainly wish you all the best for the rest of the season, but also with maybe coaching the Tall Blacks at the Olympics one day,
hopefully.
That'd be awesome. Thanks very much. Our thanks to the Turf Hotel, Stan and the team for hosting us, MBS of course for supporting Talk Nelson. You can listen to this on all the usual socials, on our website, talknelson.co.nz, and we'll do it all again next week.
What's on, where, and when. It's the Talk of Nelson. NBS Talk Nelson.